Daniel and me are climbing up a tree.
He keeps saying Daniel's name. He must know more. We need to rouse him. Good. Its music might help restore him. Show it to him.
Daniel! He's still trapped there. He needs help.
Calm. Breathe. You've been trapped in the Shadowfell for a century. Take a moment to clear your mind.
A century? You're Halsin. Daniel said to find you. You must help him, please.
I will, but I need to know where Daniel is. If I venture into the Shadowfell blind, I will never find him.
I'm not sure I can put it into words. The landscape there shifts and changes. Lavender. Whenever I saw Daniel, I always smelled lavender.
I can work with that. Rest now. Meet me by the lakeshore. I have what we need to proceed, but I'll need your help. Be ready. This may prove perilous.
Daniel will be so scared there alone. We looked after each other for such a long time. I hope he's all right.
I'll say a prayer to Timora for your good luck. A copper to the lady returns tenfold in gold. And maybe something that will help you and Halsin too.
Yes, yes, you saved me from shadow creatures. No need to gloat. I'm fine. It's Cal and Leah who need help.
You're here. Good. Now we can begin. Daniel is trapped in the Shadowfell, but thanks to your efforts, I know where to look. Now I must go there, alone. With the Oakfather's blessing, I can infiltrate the Shadowfell, but doing so will sap my strength. I'll need your help if I'm to return. I need you to stay here, keep the portal open until I return, and defend it at all costs. The shadows won't be banished without a fight. Once I open the portal, they'll swarm like carrion birds and try to destroy it. You must not let that happen. Let's begin. Whatever happens, do not attempt to enter the portal, and do not let anything interfere with it. It took me years of study, of seeking the Oakfather's favor, to find a way to part the veil. Pray that this works. Oakfather, hear me, aid me, force open the jaws of darkness. Make passage for your vessel of light. It's ready. I'll return with Daniel as soon as possible. Stay close to the portal. Buy me what time you can. It's done. I have him. But something's wrong. Dreadfully wrong. No. It can't be. No. But some part of him is missing. He's hollow. I need to examine him back at the camp. Come see us when you can.
Hey, where's Mum and Pops? No. No. I don't believe you. It isn't true. It isn't. Get away from me. Go!
I did miss that face, you know. Cazador sired 7 spawn. Me and my 6 brothers and sisters. He always insisted we were a family, even when he was carving scars into our flesh. I was one of his first. Some of the others came years later. He was a monster to us all, but did take special pleasure in my pain. He said my screams sounded sweetest. Now that I'm gone, I don't know. I pity the other 6.
Thaniel is resting, but it's no easy slumber. I discovered what's wrong with him. The shadows rendered him in 2 when they bore him away to the Shadowfell. Half of his essence remained here, amidst the curse. What stayed behind would have been the strongest part of him. But after all these years left in the darkness, corruption must have taken hold. Perhaps, if we can find Thaniel's lost half and make him whole again. Only the missing half may not come willingly. The curse will have sunk its tendrils deep, twisting Thaniel's essence into something else. No matter how it's been twisted by the shadows, it is still part of Thaniel's essence. It will resemble him somehow and may show signs of his power. Look for signs of life in the darkness, wildflowers where everything else is dead. The curse cannot subdue the power Thaniel bears. Not entirely. In fact, I saw just the sort before, not long after we first came within reach of the shadow curse. Fool that I am, I did not grasp their significance at the time. There is a ruin some way outside of Last Light. I caught a glimpse of fresh blooms there, but did not investigate further. I shall mark it upon your map. This doesn't have to be your burden alone. Every moment counts, and I've asked much of you already without being at your side. If you want me, I'm yours. Against the curse, against the absolute. Anything. Just say the word. And you saw this boy yourself. That can't be a coincidence. But we need to be sure. Thaniel still suffers. There'll be no improvement until his essence is restored, I fear. In truth, I'm not sure. This is beyond all reckoning. It's still part of Thaniel deep down, but it may not recognize that, or want to recognize that. Perhaps it can be reasoned with, but I'm not hopeful. Reason is not something that thrives amidst the shadow curse.
Halsin's proved himself a fine ally already. He'll be useful in battle, if those tree trunk arms are an indication.
Halsin is one hench elf. I'm impressed, and glad he's on our side.
think I'll enjoy traveling with Halsin. Not for his wit or wisdom. He'll just make an excellent shield if we're attacked.
It's about time Halsin actually stepped up and joined us properly. He's certainly been taking up space at camp for long enough.
A savvy move recruiting Halsin to our cause. While I'm adept at most forms of weave manipulation, druidic magic is not my area of expertise. He will make for a most useful option to have in reserve.
Halsin is such a delight. Woe to the cultist who tangles with that thick hunk of an elf.
Not back to glow, are you? Nobody likes a bad winner.
Though shrouded in shadows, the child's resemblance to Thaniel is unmistakable. This must be his dark half, warped by the curse.
I still think you might have tricked me. If you did, I'll figure it out. Spoil sport. I'm not going back. I like it here. I've made a family for myself. I get to play all the time. You can't make me do anything I don't want to. I won't let you.
A slippery little bugger, isn't he? He'll be looking for somewhere safe. Somewhere where the shadows are nice and strong.
Why couldn't you just leave me alone? Why can't I just stay here playing? I had everything I've ever wanted, right here. And you've ruined it. I'm not leaving. You can't make me.
Be gentle. He's much more than a child. But he doesn't truly know that. It shall be done. Oliver, nobody is making you leave. This is your home. But it is dark, empty, lonely. I don't want you to be alone. I want you to be with Thaniel.
Why should I go back to him? He abandoned me.
No, you were stolen from each other. Neither of you are to blame. And I know your pain. I truly do. Thaniel was my friend also. I played with him, grew up while he stayed the same. He made me who I am today. And then he was ripped away from me. Same as for you. But you need not be alone any longer. You need not invent friends. Thaniel is back. He's waiting for you.
Fine. I'll do it. It might be nice to be with him again. Bye. And thank you for playing with me.
It's done, at last. Soon the land will be unshrouded. We should return to Thaniel when we can.
The Archdruid Halsin. Do not be surprised that I know your name. You fit a rather singular description. And one survivor of the Shadow Curse's fall ought to know another. No. We were a host 100 strong after all. Until we were not. Those of us who saw the birth of the Shadow Curse seemed doomed to return and bear witness to its work again. But I ought to warn you, Halsin. Much as it shames me, it is not the curse I come to cleanse, but the cult. And I hope that we shall have that chance. But not at the expense of the world entire. It has become my way, perhaps, to always have one eye on the next fight. Or better or worse. That is the cult. Though I will not be the one to fight it, I think. The one you journey with? We have already spoken of infiltrating Moonrise. One carrying a tadpole, a true soul, might be able to reach Ketheric. And then, perhaps we will find a way to fight both our battles.
Any word on Thaniel? Is he all right? Is he safe? He is? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I haven't been able to sleep, knowing he was trapped in that wretched place. Thank you for saving him when I couldn't. I can rest now. Finally.
The druid Halsin spoke to me while I was sleeping. He spoke of you. Said that you fought shadow and spite to restore me. 100 years of sickness almost ended. I feel every root that riddles the earth beginning to unfold. But there is one anchor, still holding the shadows in place. The soul that brought it into being, for the land to heal. Ketheric Thorm must die.
Oakfather preserve you. Only by reputation. She was present when we marched against Ketheric Thorm, but on the far end of the battle lines from where I fought. And in the chaos that ensued, well, our forces were scattered. I led some to safety, but never learned of her fate. I'm glad to hear she survived. Though in truth, I should not be surprised. She was always said to be formidable and cunning. I could have learned much from her, no doubt. There is much to admire, judging by the stories. I cannot help but wonder how she would have handled some of the challenges I faced as Archdruid. Defended the Grove, Korga, the Shadow Druids. At least now we can benefit from her presence, and perhaps work to a common goal. Honestly, I never thought I'd make it that far. But the Absolute is a threat to all, and I promised I'd help you with your parasite. So, I'll remain with you. If you'll have me, that is. So do I, but one duty at a time. Druids and Harpers joined together to put a stop to Ketheric Thorm. We marched on Moonrise, and after much fighting, we prevailed. Even in defeat, though, Ketheric turned to Shah. Not long after we sealed him away in his tomb, the Shadow Curse took hold. No one had seen the likes of it before. No one knew how to react. Then it started to claim all those within its reach. Those who had survived the battles now fell to the shadows, became part of the shadows. And worst of all, I lost contact with Thaniel. I wanted to try and find him, but we couldn't stay. We would have all succumbed. When the Archdruid of the Grove, my predecessor, was seized by the curse, I had to lead the survivors to safety. That was my first day as Archdruid. An inauspicious beginning. You are right, but I must not lose focus until everything has been put right. I've wasted too much time already. Years in which nature has suffered. It's true, and I can't imagine I helped with that. Sometimes I let the task at hand consume me, and people think I'm obsessed. Trust me, the day I no longer have to talk about the Shadow Curse will be a happy one. What would you like to know? I am? Trust me, it's been said. You show more restraint than most in avoiding the subject until now. Who's to say? Perhaps there's a half-orc buried somewhere in my ancestry. Or perhaps not. Sometimes I think conventional wisdom is too narrow about what someone can or cannot be. Stranger things have most certainly happened. I had a friend when I was young, long ago. He played with me in the forests where I grew up. But eventually, I realized no one else had heard of him. It was Thaniel, of course. Nature was my very first friend. I get older, but he hasn't changed a day. I knew then that I had to be more than a companion to him. I had to be a protector. You're not a doppelganger, are you? Trying to study me to learn all my secrets so you can take my place? Save for me, my line perished a long time ago. They rest in high forest now, near the shade of the grandfather tree. The grove became my family, with Sylvanus as my teacher. And now I have you. It was a long time ago. The wounds don't heal, but they become more bearable. I suppose you wouldn't be shocked to learn I love animals and nature? I know, well-trodden territory. Well then, let's see. I whittle in my spare time, and I've something of a sweet tooth. Although everyone's very amused when I say I like honey. Ornaments, utensils, and ducks. I like ducks. I like what I like. Once you get to my age, you realize there's little point in denying yourself, so long as others aren't affected. "350 years young. I've been privileged to watch saplings grow into mighty boughs. Thank me by returning the favor, why don't you? Come on. I'm sure you've something better than carving wooden ducks." Oh, well, your choice, of course. Anytime. I've been unfair to you. I've had unrealistic expectations of your character ever since I joined you. But honestly, you've surpassed even those. Seemed my faith was more than well-founded.